Did you know that in ancient Japan, whenever a fishing boat encountered a disaster at sea, people often believed it was the work of a yokai? Among them, the one that fishermen feared the most was a yokai known as the monk of the sea, the Umibozu. But this so-called monk of the sea wasn't just one creature. There was another terrifying yokai, said to be a relative of the Umibozu, known as Umizato. He too was feared by those who made their living from the sea. In this video, we'll take a closer look at these mysterious sea monks that haunted the fears of ancient fishermen. I'm Mr. Yao, and welcome to the Leyenda Yokai channel. Here, I explore famous yokai and urban legends. If you're into these topics, be sure to subscribe so you won't miss out on future videos. Before heading out to sea, fishermen would carefully observe the shape of the clouds, the direction of the wind, the humidity in the air, and any changes in the atmosphere. On one hand, they relied on experience to judge sea conditions and ensure their safety. On the other hand, it was also closely tied to belief and superstition. If the skies suddenly turned dark with thick clouds, the air pressure dropped, and the wind shifted strangely, they believed it was a sign that the sea gods were angry. When that happened, many would choose to stay ashore, fearing they might invite disaster. To them, without the protection of the sea gods, terrifying yokai might emerge from the ocean and bring disaster. And the one they feared the most was the yokai known as the monk of the sea, Umibozu. Umibozu often appears on calm and quiet nights, when everything seems perfectly normal and there are no signs of danger. Then suddenly, the waves begin to churn, the weather shifts, and a violent storm strikes without warning. In the chaos, a massive creature emerges from the sea. It tries to destroy the ship, sometimes crushing it in a single blow, other times tearing it apart bit by bit. The way it attacks depends on the size of the ship and the size of the creature itself. Perhaps no other sea yokai is as mysterious as Umibozu. Its true form remains unknown to this day. Most people only catch a glimpse of what lies above its shoulders. It looks somewhat human in shape, with jet black skin and large, round eyes. Witnesses say its size can vary dramatically, sometimes just slightly larger than a ship, and sometimes so massive that only its bloated face breaks the surface. Its head is smooth and round, like that of a monk, and its body is naked and dark as a shadow. According to legend, Umibozu doesn't have a single fixed appearance. In some stories, its body resembles a giant sea serpent. In others, it's described more like a massive ghost, a black shadow drifting across the surface of the ocean. No matter what form it takes, its arrival always signals disaster. It is said that Umibozu will demand a wooden bucket from the crew. It then uses the bucket to pour seawater onto the deck again and again, quickly sinking the ship and drowning everyone on board. But there is one way to trick it. If you give it a wooden bucket with the bottom hollowed out, Umibozu will keep scooping water endlessly, but never manage to fill the ship. In that moment, the crew may have a chance to escape. Though this story is often associated with the Funai Yurei, some regional legends have blurred the lines between the two, attributing this deadly habit to Umibozu instead. Because of this, many experienced fishermen in the past would carry a bottomless bucket on board, just in case. One theory about why Umibozu is called the monk of the sea is that he was once a monk who drowned at sea. Others believe the name comes from his smooth, bald head, which closely resembles that of a monk. There's a well-known legend that explains why Umibozu causes chaos at sea. It is said that he was originally a monk who fell in love with a village girl and had a secret affair with her. When their relationship was discovered, the angry villagers captured him, tied him up, and threw him into the ocean. Filled with hatred, he died and turned into a yokai, haunting the sea and taking revenge on fishermen. This story is often considered the most human explanation for why he is called the monk of the sea. Another theory suggests that Umibozu is the demonized image of pirates. In ancient times, when ships mysteriously vanished or were attacked, people projected their fear on as supernatural beings, and the terrifying figure of Umibozu was born. Some scholars have speculated that Umibozu might actually be a massive sea creature living deep in the Sato Inland Sea. Possibly the ancestor of many aquatic yokai, because sightings are extremely rare and almost always end with ships sinking and people disappearing. Its true nature and origin are likely to remain a mystery for a long time to come. Although he's known as the Monk of the Sea, some legends say that Umibozu actually has a wife, another sea yokai called Umibozu. There's also a theory that Nuruhian might be a variation of Umibozu himself. If you're interested in the story of Nuruhian, you can check out the video on my channel or find the link in the description below. And if you'd like to hear more about Umibozu, feel free to let me know in the comments. I might introduce her in a future video. Thank you. Umizato is a yokai from Japanese folklore, usually appearing at sea in the form of a blind monk carrying a biwa on his back. He is said to be enormous in size and can walk directly on the surface of the ocean. In some legends, Umizato is considered part of the Umibozu family of sea yokai, and sightings are especially common in the coastal areas of Sanraku. Very little is known about this mysterious creature. It is generally seen as harmless and does not actively disturb humans. Umizato first appeared in the Haki Yagyo Amaki, and post-war writings classified him as a common type of sea yokai. His typical appearance shows him standing calmly on the ocean, holding a staff in his right hand, with a biwa slung over his shoulder, like a silent musician drifting among the waves. However, some legends describe him as a dangerous presence. It is said that he plays beautiful music to lure ships closer, and when fishermen approach, he suddenly capsizes their boats, sometimes even swallowing entire vessels. This version of Umizato is often compared to the sirens from Western mythology. But there are also gentler versions of the legend. In some stories, if the crew treats him with politeness and humility, he does not harm them and simply disappears. In certain regions, he is even considered a benevolent yokai who helps lost ships find their way and protects fishermen during storms. Because records of Umizato are extremely scarce, our understanding of him remains full of uncertainty. Some believe he is a related yokai with a similar appearance to Umibozu, while others suggest that he was originally a fictional creature created by the Edo period ukiyo-e artist, Toriyama Seiken, for his illustrated scroll Gazu Haki Yagyo. Although some believe that Umibozu is simply the demonized image of pirates from ancient times, I think if we focus on its most terrifying trait, being large enough to swallow entire ships, the most reasonable explanation from a modern perspective might actually be a tsunami. In the past, without scientific knowledge, it was natural for people to turn mysterious natural disasters into stories about yokai. After all, for the families of those who perished at sea, there was no one they could hold accountable, except a yokai. What do you think? If you enjoy my channel, please help by hitting the subscribe button and turning on the notification bell so you won't miss my upcoming videos. Thank you for watching until the end, and I'll see you next time.